Hi Sarah, my name is Alexis. Thank you for coming in today. What brought you in this afternoon?
I've just been feeling really stressed out, balancing like my work stress, school, homework that goes with school, housework, internship, just all of that stuff.
Okay, so you have a lot on your plate, hey?
Right, a lot of stuff that I gotta get done in one day.
Okay. How does that make you feel having that much on? I know you use the word stressed. Um, is there any other feelings that come with that?
Um, I guess just like overwhelmed, like I have too much I have to get done. I don't have enough time to just like sit down and catch a breath sometimes. So like overwhelmed and exhausted, it's like other words I'd use for it.
Okay. Um, how are you feeling today?
Um, I guess just stressed out. There's a lot of like school stuff I have to get done within the next couple of days, and I have to go to work and go to school around that.
What are you doing for school?
I go to school for human services.
Okay. Um, you use the word overwhelmed. Kind of when you go day by day, what does your days look like?
I usually get up, get ready for work, and obviously go to work. When I get out of work, I usually go home, try to do some sort of work, like schoolwork or housework. Or I have actual class, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm at internship or, you know, just doing stuff that has to do with either school, work, or helping other people, so.
Just really busy.
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm hearing is that you have a lot on your plate and things are kind of exhausting right now, and you've been feeling really stressed and overwhelmed. And it does sound like things are kind of really challenging for you right now. I can definitely see why you feel those kind of ways. Um, what brought you here?
Um, just like the overwhelmingness of everything I have to do in a day. I need to figure out how to deal with the stress in a way that's healthy and it doesn't result in me just crying all the time.
Okay. Um, when you say when it doesn't result in you crying, kind of what feelings are going through your body when you start to cry?
Usually, like frustration.
Okay.
Either I can't get enough stuff done in a day or things just don't go my way.
Um, how long has this stressors and this overwhelming feeling been happening?
Um, I don't know. I feel like it's been going on for probably like over 6 months now, but within the past like 3, it's really gotten worse.
Okay. So what I'm hearing so far, Sarah, is that you've been very stressed, overwhelmed, a lot of exhaustion between work, school, internship, housework, homework, and you're starting to kind of get frustrated because there's just not enough time in the day, and um, sometimes that results in you crying. Um, How have you been dealing with the stress lately?
Usually I try to take some time and like either watch a movie or just like lay down and not like occupy myself with anything else because I have a hard time. I have like ADHD, so I have a hard time like just doing one thing at a time. If I'm watching a movie, I'm usually doing something else while I'm watching the movie, or if I'm like listening to a podcast and always doing something, I just can't focus on one thing at once for very long periods of time.
Okay. Okay. Is that also frustrating for you when you can't focus on one thing?
Yeah, it is frustrating that I can't just focus on what I want to focus on.
Do you think that that affects your school and work life?
Oh yeah, I know it does, but sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. I just don't want to be medicated for it.
Oh, absolutely understood. Sounds like that is really frustrating. But it does sound like you're very successful in your work because you are dedicated to it and dedicated to getting homework done, and even with all the stressors and frustration. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fitting.
How often do you feel exhausted?
I guess it depends on the day. So if it's a day where I just go to work, I wouldn't say I'm exhausted. But if it's a day where I have work, school, and internship, I'm pretty exhausted by the end of the day. And by the time I hit my bed, like even if I want to watch a movie, I'm just like out like a light. It like takes 10 minutes to pass out.
How is schooling going for you, the human service program?
I think it's going good. Kinda sucks that it's all online though. I feel like I'm not learning as much.
Okay. Would you maybe consider that one of your stressors as well, about being all online?
I think so because when like you're in person, you know you have to be there at this time, at this day of the week, you know? And then you have to be there in person. But if it's online, you're just kinda in your house and you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I just have to log on. It's not as exciting.
Yeah,
You don't get to see other people, collaborate with people.
I can completely understand that. I heard you bring up the ADHD and not being medicated. Um, how do you handle those kind of things without medication or without um, seeing someone just for that?
To be honest, it's really hard to it's really hard to focus on one thing. To focus on one thing is kind of like I have to tell myself in my head to like keep focusing because like my mind will want to focus, but my body doesn't want to. So I'm focusing on a piece of paper, or on a book, or on a paper, whatever I'm doing, like typing. But the rest of my body is literally fidgeting because I don't want to do it. Like I want to go and do something else, walk around, whatever it may be. So I can't focus on one thing, and then I get frustrated, and then I get lost in my frustration really quickly. Because I don't know, I also have anxiety. My anxiety is anger based, so it's pretty cool.
I hear you say that you get lost in the frustration and it's comes with anxiety, and you said anger based. Can you go into detail a little bit about that for me?
When I get anxious, I get angry. Or when I get angry, I get anxious. It goes both ways. So if I'm getting angry, like if someone I'm with and they're not driving good, like I get really nervous with people that are bad drivers. That's why I always drive myself places. So if someone's driving, I get like, anxious, and then it turns into anger.
Okay.
Or I get angry because they're not driving good, and then that anger turns into anxiousness. So it can go either way.
Afterwards, after you feel anxious and angry, how does that make you feel afterwards?
It depends on how the person responds to me. If they're driving better, then I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. I just kind of get over it because I know they're trying to drive better. But if they're just driving the same way and not really considering what I had to say, then I just get really angry.
Okay. Okay. I am gonna ask you to rate how you have been managing all your stressors from the different stressors. So your school, your work, internship, housework, homework. If you could rate them on what stresses you out the most, and then what stresses you out the least.
I would say school would probably be my number one stressor. I would say that work is my number two stressor. Then I would say, well, homework goes in with school, so.
Okay.
I would say that internship would probably be next, and then it would be the housework. Because if I take out one of those things, the rest would be easier.
Yeah, I get that.
So the way I did that was if I took out school, all these other things wouldn't be so hard.
Okay.
Or if I took out work, school wouldn't be so hard. And then the rest wouldn't be so hard. So.
Okay. I can completely understand where you're coming from, and I can kind of hear the frustration of upsettingness in your voice. Have things lacked before, like when you rated them and you said you could take them out and things would get better? Have you lacked in any certain way throughout any of it?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, in the housework, I lack things. Like, all the dishes just pile up. I'll lack that, or I'll wait and put off homework till the last minute. Otherwise, other than that, I don't think so.
Well, Sarah, I can tell that you have a lot on your plate, and it's really amazing that you can juggle all of those things and still be able to do all of them. I mean, that's a lot to have on one plate for one person. I've heard you say a couple times about the overwhelmed, you being exhausted, lots of emotions, anxious, angry, frustration, stressed. I'm just gonna wrap up things here and just kind of summarize what we've talked about a little bit. So you've brought up that you're stressed about everything on your plate, between work, school, homework, internship, and sometimes you get so frustrated that it results in crying, which then you just get more upset and you get angry, and there's sometimes, because of your ADHD, you can't focus, and it does affect your everyday life and what you do. And sometimes you get anxious, which turns into anger, and vice versa. And like I said, you are struggling or juggling a lot on your plate right now. Would you say that I have that correct?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Is there any questions that you have for me?
I don't think so.
I would love for us to set up another appointment if you are okay with that.
Yeah, sounds good.
It was really nice meeting you, Sarah.
It was nice meeting you too.